There's a couple of things I might state. First of all, I'd appreciate it if you'd silence your phones, put them on a buzzer or something like that, so we don't, and I'll do that for myself. I'd be the one with the phone. We left them on just in case people were trying to find us. And yeah, we got everybody. Okay, good. Oh, that's great. So yeah, we're gonna be upstairs, and then today or is it today? Last night. Okay, they changed it to this venue. So thank you for finding us. We're glad you're here. And now we'll turn to folks that are up on our screen. And let's see. I'd like everyone to introduce themselves. Oh, we got a good group of people up here. Let's start with David.
I'm here, David Hughes, member.
Thank you. Pat Pepin.
Patricia Pepin from Vallejo, and I'm a member.
Thank you. The Pratts. Kathy and David, yourselves. There you go.
Sorry.
That's right.
David and Kathy Pratt from Fairfield.
Thank you. Marianne, Perlmutter?
Marianne Perlmutter from Vacaville, member.
Judy?
Judy Potter, member from Benicia.
Sandra Corman? Sandy?
Sandy Corman from Vacaville.
Thank you. Bart Sullivan, Bart? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm here. The audio is kind of bad, but if we could just focus on the mic person.
From your Benicia, right? Okay. Okay, then we've got Jerry Potter.
Yeah, Jerry
Yes,
Potter,
please.
husband of Judy Potter.
Thank you. Bob?
Bob Panzer, Fairfield. Nice
Thank
to be in a hybrid meeting.
Yeah, love your background. Hey, Sandy. Uh-oh, can't hear you. You're gonna have to talk up louder. I think you're muted.
No, she's not.
Oh. You have to turn up your volume.
So Sandy Corey from Vallejo.
Vallejo, right. Thanks, Sandy. Meredith?
Hi, I'm Meredith Adams. I'm from Benicia.
Thank you. Okay, she's still talking, but she's Sue Sumner Moore, I see is here. Sue? It's gone.
Hi.
Yes.
Hi, you guys. This is Sue. I'm here with my husband, Scott. We're both members from Benicia.
Good, thanks for joining us. Alice? LeBay? Oh, okay. Alice LeBay from Benicia. Yeah, okay. Yes. Teresa Carr. I think it's from Benicia.
Teresa Carr from Vallejo.
Oh, from Vallejo. Okay, thanks for the correction. Okay, and then we've got Linda Stewart. Linda, tell us where you're from.
Linda Stewart from Suisun City.
Thank you. And above that, Sharon Tucker. Are you talking?
She's from Benicia.
From Benicia.
Sharon
Okay.
from Benicia.
Thank you. And I think last would be Gail Vaughn. Gail, are you there? She was. She's gone. All right. Well, Gail Vaughn is from Benicia. Yeah, that's right. So thank you all for coming this evening and participating in both of these modes. And with that, I just want to point out we have a number of our board members here, and I just want to call out their names. We have Janice Adams, Alice Freer, Craig Patterson, Sarah Chapman, Judy Potter on the screen, Marianne Perlmutter, and Sandy Curry, and Sharon and Sharon Tucker, our board members for this past year. So I wanted to call them out. All right, and our parliamentarian this evening is Dr. Sarah Chapman. So she's got her bylaws over there, so she'll keep us on the straight and narrow. All right, so we start out these general annual meetings with what's called rules of the day. And so I'm going to read those to you. And if there's any question, let me know, but they're pretty straightforward. So it talks about voting first. Voting is limited to members in good standing of the League of Women Voters, Solano County. I haven't heard of anybody said that, so I think we're all good. Okay. As we vote, a yes, no poll format will be used on items only requiring approval of majority of voting members. Some polls may include multiple choices. Specific instructions will be shared as needed. But this evening, we don't have multiple choices, so we won't be worrying about that. And all reported Zoom polls are anonymous, and Craig will be taking care of the count for that. Right? Right? Hopefully, yeah. If everything works right. Our quorum, which is 15% of the membership in good standing, shall constitute a quorum. And I understand we are way past quorum that we needed to hold this meeting tonight. So we're really pleased that all of you have chosen to attend and participate. So now I'd like to just take a minute to go over the agenda, and once posted down here for you to see and follow along, just if you haven't brought any materials. But I tell you, if you can go on your go on your phone, your mobile device, that's what they call it now, and you can see the materials there if you'd like to do that. But I printed this out so it'll be maybe a little bit easier for us. So on the agenda, we are going to first have the report of the nominating committee. And with that will be the election of our directors, officers, directors, and nominating committee for this following year. And we'll introduce the new board after they're elected. We will have a treasurer's report. Judy is our treasurer, and she was going to be making a report about this year's budget. Following that, any discussion you might have or questions you have for Judy, following that, we will pose a vote to accept the budget as presented, or we might have to make some changes, but I don't think so. I think it's looked like a good budget. Okay, then we're moving towards what are called program recommendations for this coming year. Earlier this year, we held a general member meeting, and we proposed looking at a variety of program priorities that the state has, that the National League has, and we as a group talked about, everyone that was at that meeting, talked about where would we fit into those priorities and those proposals. And we put forward these 4 items: racial inclusion, justice and equity, making democracy work, voter rights and education, climate change with a focus towards water, and criminal justice. So we will have a discussion if you'd like. I think Craig's going to be making that presentation, and then we will approve that program priorities for this coming year for 23-24. Then we're not going to go through the reports. The reports were in your kit packet, and you can read at your leisure, and hopefully you've read those reports to date from all the different committees that we have. But I just want to call out the people that were the chairs of these committees during this past year, and we'll do that a little bit later. Then Ronnie and I probably have something to say at the end, right? We always, that's right. So we'll finish up, and we'll adjourn the meeting, and then we're going to have a really great group of guest speakers, maybe 1, maybe 2. We don't know how many yet, Alice, but they're coming. It's still be 3 of us. There'll be 3. Okay, that's great. Which is the Solano Youth Coalition, and the work that they've been doing with Alice and civic engagement efforts. It's wonderful. So with that, we will move to the report of the nominating committee, and I was going to handle that. So I just want you to know that the board of directors consists of 4 officers and 6 directors who are elected by the annual meeting to staggered 2-year terms. Additionally, not more than 3 directors may be appointed by the elected members of the board. So we do have 3 appointments that we can make following this meeting. The appointed directors hold office until June, which will be June of 24, following the next annual meeting. Elected directors and officers take office July 1 of this year, following our annual meeting. So we have a slate that's completed, and I think Craig is putting that up on the board as we talk. You can have that addition. It's in there. It's not. That's not what we have for them. Oh, technology.
That's it.
Yeah, this is our board. And following in the next screen, you'll see the nominations for the nominating committee for this following year. So it's wonderful to know that we have people in every position. We have no vacancies this year, and we're very thrilled about the people that are coming forward. Of course, Carol and Rami are continuing. Leslie Lessinger, you met earlier, is taking on the secretary role. Judy is continuing as our treasurer. We have directors Craig Patterson, Sarah Chapman, Janice Adams, Barbara King, Casey Nash, and Alice Reed. Those are our elected board of directors for this year. And then following that, in the next slide, is our proposed nominating committee, proposed of Janice Adams, chair. In our bylaws, it says that a member of the board shall serve as president, as the chair of the nominating committee. So she has accepted that additional role. Welcome, ladies. Glad to see you made it and found us, huh? Good. Ali Desiderio will continue this year, and we have a new member that said step up and do this is David Pratt. We met him earlier on Zoom. So what I'd like to do is ask for a nomination for the whole slate and followed by a second. Is there a nomination from the floor to accept this proposed? Yes.
I move that we accept the slate proposed by the nominating committee for FY 23-24.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. Moved and seconded. Comments? Everyone.
Names of the.
Oh, Belinda Smith and Alex Freed. Okay, all those in favor, say aye or raise your hand. Aye. Well, it's okay. Looks pretty good to me. Thank you. Are there any opposed? Okay, hearing none. Well, I just want to applaud. Thank you all for being willing to serve this next year in this leadership role. I think it's going to be a great team working together. All right, with that then, we're moving forward for looking at our proposed budget. And I think Craig was able to put, yeah, he's got that put up. It's split into two parts. Yeah. All right, and Judy's there somewhere. Judy, would you like to speak to the budget? She was, by the way, just so you know, she's in New York City. That's how dedicated she is as a board member. Her daughter just got her PhD, and so she's back there helping her get reestablished. But anyway, she told me earlier today that she may have tech problems. They've been having issues with their internet. And so Sue Sumner Moore was going to pitch in for her if that was the case. And I'm not sure if Judy or Sue.
Yeah, I think I might step in because Judy isn't here with us right now, and her Wi-Fi keeps dropping.
Yeah, that's what I understand. You need to speak up if you can, Sue, because it's kind of hard to hear.
Okay, I have my volume all the way up. Does that help?
That's better. Thank you. So go right ahead with your presentation.
Well, basically, if you've had a chance to look at the packet, you'll see the budget in there, which is now on the screen. Thank you so much for doing that. The income, you'll notice, is a little bit down compared to what we projected for this year, mostly because there's no election for the Crockett Community Foundation, which gives us about $1,000. On the other hand, offsetting that a little bit, we have a little extra income coming, and we anticipate from having more members, which is always good news for the whole organization. Most of the expenses remain as they were for this year, per the request of the people running those programs. We did bump up the budget for the youth outreach program, in large part because we're so excited about it. And it's just, I can't wait to hear the presentation. And I think that's about the summary of it. There's also a brief thing at the end of the report about the Ed Fund, which right now has a balance of about $500 in it. And that will remain in our ed fund controlled by the state until we finish and get our 501c3 status. Anybody have any questions? Oh, Pat, I see that. How much are dues? You know what? Judy, do you know? Judy's back on.
I'm back for a minute anyway. $70 for individuals and 100 and, is it 3 or 5 for, where's Leslie? For 105, I believe.
Yeah.
If you pay online with PayPal, it's $73 or 109, I believe. It should say online though. So
Yeah.
you save it if you write a check.
And please do pay your dues when you get your membership reminder. Thank you. I think Leslie's the one sending those out. And I'm going to make a little pitch. Please get your receipts in as soon as you can. Just makes the whole process so much easier, and you get your money faster. Thanks.
Thank you, Sue. I'm sorry I was frozen at the beginning.
Please. And Craig just put, I think he just put up a second page in case people want to just see. You can see what our per membership payments are. We every year send information, money, not information, well, information to it. Money to our national organization in Washington, D.C. Money does go to our California League. And because they provide us resources. And so that's part of the reason that money does go where it goes. And I agree, you know, that makes sense. We do belong to the Bay Area. There's a Bay Area League too, and they have been helpful in working with us. And our programs, of course, room rental, just basic things that you're going to need when you have group meetings together. And this kind of just shows the different programs, no, not programs, committees, and the money that they have been allocated for this coming year. Are there any questions? Not a peep. So I guess everybody's okay. All right. So we want to ask if there is there's a question. Oh, Belinda.
So, put the dues again.
73 with, I believe, with PayPal. Is that right, Judy? 73?
I'm pretty sure it is, but you do have to remember I'm in New York and I don't have my big files with me. I'm pretty sure it's 73. Sandy knows, Sandy Curry, isn't it 73?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So with that, I'm seeking a motion to approve the budget as presented. All right, is there a second to that? Okay, thank you, Sarah. Moved and seconded that we accept the proposed budget for the 2023-24 year. All those in favor say aye. Or raise your hand. Right. Are there anyone opposed? Okay. Great. Thank you very much. So Gail. Oh, Gail, do you have your hand? Yes, Gail. Can't hear you, Gail.
I was just raising my hand to say aye.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you very much. She's voting. Okay, thank you. All right, so wonderful. Now we're moving on to number 6, which is program recommendations for 23-24. And I'll turn that over to Craig Patterson, who shepherded that whole effort earlier this year, and he can answer questions or put the proposal forward, whatever you'd like to do, Craig.
Oh, I gotta go over here because this is the mic.
Okay, you're gonna get the microphone.
I'm curling up. Well, hi, everybody. This microphone doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot.
Well,
Okay, so,
you can hold it up.
yeah, it has to be very
Right there.
close. So, yeah, we gathered in order to decide what going forward we wanted to have as a program priorities, but we started from the existing year, this fiscal year, because we figured, you know, the priorities that we've been working on are ones that we really haven't done everything that we wanted to do with them. We've come nowhere close to exhausting the opportunities for digging in on those topics. So we started with two different directions. We started with the direction of what were our existing priorities. And then what we did was we opened our conversation to the priorities of Legal and Voters California. So their priorities as well were figured in our group process. So that what we want to do is we want to make sure that we address programs that are locally sensitive in our communities. But we also want to address those bigger issues that are statewide and national as well. So we want to be able to go both ways. So our group process started with our local priorities, and then we were looking at how we could connect possibly in learning and education, but also perhaps even in advocacy concerning issues at the state and national level. So we want to expand our horizons beyond just our local communities, but we do want the conversation to be in our local communities so that we gather all the wealth of information and the questions and the values that are part of our communities. So we want the conversations to be genuine, but also we want to make sure that we're connecting in a wider arena than simply Solano County. So that's why you have, well, we went through a group process where we had small groups and breakout conversations. And then we did a prioritization process with those items that had come to the top. And these four priorities were ones that we felt were important in our communities and in a wider sense. So that's why that's kind of the deep background.
Thank you. Are there questions for Craig about any of these four priorities? The first is racial inclusiveness, justice, and equity. Thank you. The second is making democracy work, voter rights and education. I think you might have that up there, right? And climate change was next with a focus on water and criminal justice. Any questions? It's a robust and big program agenda. And we're really looking forward to, as Craig said, digging in on these things this coming year. The new board will be having a retreat on the 12th of August. It's a Saturday. And at that time, we're going to be talking about these, getting some program priorities lined up as a schedule, taking a look at advocacy and how it would tie into some of these program efforts. And we're pretty excited that we can begin to make an impact, hopefully, in what's happening in Solano County and assist what's happening at the state level as well. So I guess what I would like to do is ask for a motion to approve these program priorities for this particular year of 23-24. Oh,
Carol?
don't be. Yes.
Carol?
Who said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes. Is there anybody on the, no, I don't see anyone doing that.
I
saw
have a
two hands.
question.
Oh, there's a question. Who's asking that?
Gail,
Gail. Okay, Gail.
just because, I like to make trouble. In my community, we have multiple groups that are working on racial inclusiveness, and justice equity. We have not very many people who are working on voter rights and education. So I was not involved in any of your breakout groups or any of that, but my suggestion would be to make priority number one, voter rights and education, coming up on presidential election year.
Thank you. Okay, there's a proposal to change the order of the program priorities. Is there any conversation around that? Yes, Belinda?
Park is generally, none of them is, it's just when we rank, is that really a ranking that? No.
No, it's not a
I
ranking.
didn't think it was.
Yeah, it's not a ranking, Gail, if that helps.
Well, it looks like a ranking, so, okay,
Well, I know it.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
fine.
guess,
Okay.
we should have used bullet points instead of numbers, maybe that would.
I'll withdraw my,
Great. Yeah. Okay, does that answer your question a little bit?
sure.
Okay, so I have another question.
Yes, Belinda.
In your, at your retreat, so Gail brought up a good point, some things are occurring in some parts of the county, but not.
And others, yes.
So how will you be looking at that to see what programs, let's say in Vacaville, but as Gail said, they're not in Benicia?
I think we will.
Prioritize.
Yes.
At least by that area, maybe.
Craig wants to make a comment to that. Yes, I think, yes.
Yeah, one of the important things is that we're looking for partnerships with groups that are already doing the work in various areas, so that we're not trying to reinvent the wheel or be the lone rangers. So we want to do as much partnering as we can. So that's where our conversations in our local communities can identify those potential partners, and then we can make the connections with those partners and see if they would like to work with us as well. But we don't want to go out, launch out and do our own thing, thinking that nobody's doing anything. But because we know that there's lots of activity in our communities already. So we want to connect with those, but we want to amplify what's already being done, and to make sure that we're bringing to bear all of the priorities legal voters into those efforts.
Thank you. And one of the things I just wanted to also make a comment about is that our elected board this year, we have a pretty strong representation across the county. So I don't think we've got an elected member from Dixon, but we're all other communities. No, we have Casey Nash is from Fairfield, that's right. And so anyway, but that is a really good point. We will be sensitive to what's going on in the communities. That's one of the challenges to being a county-wide league. I mean, when you're in your individual communities, you know your communities, but it's going to make a little more work for us to make sure that what we're doing does resonate in all of the communities that we have a presence. So thank you for those questions. Yes, Martin.
I move that we accept the program recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second? Okay, Francis seconded, moved and seconded. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. Thank you very much. And now that you're all here, we expect all of you to be involved in these committees. I got your number, as they said, right? Right. Okay, thank you so much. Then one of the things we're almost in conclusion mode here. I want to talk about the status of our league, and just to let you know that in your packet there were reports of each of the committees of the work that they've done during this past year. And so hopefully you'll take time to read those, because there's some very significant things that have been going on. But I do want to lift up that the people that are here who are the chairs of those committees. I saw, there's Marianne. Marianne Tolmender was there. Marianne was a real she's not the chair right now, but she was a great chairperson when I got involved and worked well with her. And I want to thank Marianne for her great work that she did as in voter services. Yes, thank you. And of course, Sandy. Where's Sandy Curry up there? I know she's there. Come on, Sandy. There's Sandy. Now, here you go. She was our communications guru, and she ran a tight ship. And boy, we had some terrific materials come out in this county in so many different social media ways. And I want to raise a yahoo to Sandy Curry for all of her work. She's going off. And here's sitting next to me, Rami is taking on the role of not only vice president, but chair of the membership committee. And with Sharon, where is she? Is she up there? Okay, Sharon, wave your hand. We're part of that committee as well. And they did some great work, and still are. So a hand up to them too. Thank you. Of course, hanging out in the back is Alice Reed, who really worked so diligently this past two plus years on youth outreach. And she, she has brought home to us a state award in the area of youth programming for her work with the Solano Youth Coalition. And so we'll hear about that a little bit more this evening, but we are so proud of her and so thankful for her. Craig Patterson, of course, he's wrapping up his chair position on the program planning committee, and I think Janice is going to be hopefully taking on that role this coming year. But Craig, we want to thank you for your couple of years of work in that. And then, we have a long-standing program that's based right now in Benicia, which is great, called Great Decisions. And Judy Potter, our treasurer, along with Niles Netter, have really shepherded that program along. And great thanks to you two for your good work. Thank you, Judy. Yeah. Okay, and in the closing announcement, I'm supposed to say, if you want to join the league, you can do it here tonight. Is there anybody here that's not a member? Jump on. She raised her hand. Yeah. Well, we want you to join. Would you have stuff? Yeah, we have stuff out there. Why don't we grab it, butthole her? There you go. Great. So that's it for our meeting this evening. Except I think both Rami and I would like to make some closing comments. Rami, would you like to?
I'm going to introduce the next section, but
well, I mean, is there anything in particular you want to talk about in regards to this year in your role?
Well, off the top of my head, I would honestly say that it's been a real honor to be part. Close your nose. It's been a real pleasure to work with the league this year because I feel like we've made great strides in building a structure that's going to carry us forward. Part of any organization's goal is to be sustainable over time. And in order to do that, we have to keep attracting a diverse population. We need to be reflective of our communities, not only in terms of gender, but also in terms of age, in terms of ethnicities, so that we embrace to be true and diverse. And we've taken some really positive steps forward in that area. And I think that we're poised and ready to continue to grow and be very impactful in a year where impact is going to be very important. There's a lot at stake right now, and raising our voice in a positive and constructive way, working with the larger league and using our efforts to amplify the efforts of the entire league. It's really been eye-opening to see that, how important it is, and I look forward to seeing it.
That was right off the cup, pretty good. Huh? Yeah. So I too want to say that we've had a great year. It's been a real pleasure for me to work with a group of people that have such strong leadership skills. Our board of directors really were a delight. It was a delight to work with them. And I think that, like you said, we did some programming, we've dug in, we're growing. I have kind of a personal goal this year to see us grow in every community in Solano County, and hopefully that might be a goal for us for the whole league in the course of this year. And like you said, that we look at the opportunity to bring more diversity into this league, so it well represents our Solano County profile. Anyway, with that, I'd like to now turn it back over to Rami. Going to introduce our program, but you can do that, but we want to take a little break.
Yeah, would you like it to go? We've got
So much food back there. Yeah, okay.
We also want the restrooms are through the floor, right, for those who might. Yeah.
Water and food and
Computer training.
Francis for doing that. Please, okay, yes, ma'am. The parliamentarian speaks. Let's switch times. Probably about 10, but I'll give you a 5-minute warning. Okay, so grab something to eat and check in with each other. We haven't gotten together in person in a long time, and maybe you know some people, maybe you don't. Introduce yourself to somebody you don't know, so that we can build that camaraderie in this great program of ours. Good, thank you.